was never a fan of Valentine's Day. To me, the holiday is nothing but a collection of corny romance cliches. I guess this is why I've never had a serious relationship. I can't say that being single ever bothered me. If I'm being frank, I think I prefer to stay single for life. But just because I don't care for relationships doesn't mean that I judge others for being in them. Otherwise, my friend Isabella would never have invited me to her bachelorette party. Being from a wealthy family, Isabella could start this new chapter of her life wherever and however she pleased. She chose to have her bachelorette party and wedding in Rome. There are two reasons why Isabella chose here of all places. Before she was born, Isabella's grandparents immigrated from Rome to the US. For the first few years, the couple constantly struggled to make ends meet. But thanks to his hard work and discipline, Isabella's grandfather was able to climb the corporate ladder. By the time his son and daughter-in-law had Isabella, he became CEO of the company he worked in for so long. Isabella's grandfather passed away about a week into her engagement. Devastated, she decided to honor his memory by having her wedding in his hometown. Sort of a remember where you came from type of thing. The other reason involved Valentine's Day, which is her favorite holiday. It happened that the wedding was set the day after Valentine's Day that year. So she had this idea where if she and her future husband could get married on February 15th, they'd celebrate it every year as their second Valentine's Day. As cheesy as it sounded, I was happy for my friend and was delighted to be involved. Isabella wanted to do something adventurous for her bachelorette party. There was a cave near Palatine Hill with a fascinating history. This cave was home to a cult known as the Valentinos clan a long time ago. The Valentinos clan was a group that worshipped Lupercus, the Roman god of fertility. Like all pagans, they celebrated Lupercalia, the original version of Valentine's Day. From what I understand, it's a holiday about animal sacrifice, random hookups, and infertile women getting hit with goat hide because it's supposed to make them fertile. What made it crazier was that the women wanted to be hit with goat skin. The Valentinos clan followed the same traditions, but to a different extent. For example, they hit both men and women with goat skin, and after that, the blood-stained hide is burned as an offering to Lupercus. But the worst part was what happened to those who still couldn't reproduce afterward. If a couple fails to conceive after the rituals, the sterile partner is sacrificed to Lupercus. Apparently, being unable to procreate was considered a great shame to the Valentinos clan, so much so that the victims were willing to be sacrificed. This went on for years, until something happened in 247 AD. About 3 months after Lupercalia, the Valentinos clan learned that nobody had conceived. Even the members, who successfully procreated the year before, failed somehow. I'm sure that you can guess what happened after that. Nobody could understand how the entire cult of 50 people suddenly became infertile. Even modern medicine considers the odds as astronomical. They say that every year on Lupercalia, you can hear the Valentinos clan carrying out their yearly rituals in hopes of being able to procreate again. When Isabella told me this story, I asked if she believed that stuff. She took out her phone and showed me a picture of the inside of a cave. There was a life-sized statue of what looked like a satyr with a long face and ears. I figured that this was a picture of the Valentinos clan's cave and the statue was Lupercus. Being from a religious family, Isabella never got to visit places that were haunted. Now that she's old enough to make her own decisions, Isabella decided to do something that she'd be too scared to do as a child. I decided, why not, as the idea seemed more interesting than getting hammered in some local bar. Apart from me, Isabella's bachelorette party included Gina, Amy, and Caroline. Unlike me, they'd rather drink than explore some cave. Isabella promised to take the girls to a bar after the cave. With that, the 5 of us went to the allegedly haunted cave. The entrance was at the base of a hill near Palatine Hill. Inside, there was a downward slope with symbols painted on the walls. My friends and I walked down the slope with our phones' flashlights to guide us. Finally, we arrived at the cavern. Floor candlestick holders lined the walls of the underground room. The candles that occupied them had been burned down to stumps. A large fire pit stood near the Lupercalia statue. Isabella talked about how beautiful the cave was while taking pictures when Caroline picked up a goat skull. "Looks like someone came down here for a Halloween party," Caroline commented. Isabella saw what her friend was holding and told her that the skull was not a decoration. Caroline dropped the skull as she gagged in disgust. We were laughing at her reaction when I spotted something. There was a faint glow coming from a tunnel. As I got closer, I could hear something. I tried to analyze it when Isabella asked me where I was going. I pointed at the tunnel and asked Isabella if she heard what I was hearing. She confirmed, saying that it sounded like the cries of animals and humans. We gathered the others before heading through the tunnel. As we ventured through the tunnel, the sounds became increasingly clear. Isabella was right about what they sounded like, but that wasn't all. Based on what I heard, the animals were just goats and dogs. That, and the human cries weren't family-friendly, if you catch my drift. Isabella and I were looking at each other like, what the hell? Meanwhile, our friends were snickering like schoolgirls. I was thinking about getting out of there when we reached the end of the tunnel. What we found in this massive chamber made me regret not turning away when I had the chance. Bloody dogs and skinless goats howled with pain, but that's not the worst of it. Charred bodies moaned as they did their 18+ activities. I was so mortified that I didn't know whether to scream or vomit. I looked at my friends, who shared the same feeling. I don't know how long we've been standing there, but our silence broke when Amy hurled. All the corpses simultaneously stopped what they were doing and looked at us. They then slowly moved towards us like zombies, resuming their lewd noises. The 5 of us screamed as we booked it out of the cave. We stopped just outside the cave's entrance when I mustered up the courage to look behind us. I didn't see or hear those things. We went back to our hotel, trying to process what had just happened. I swear that we were 100% sober when this happened. We never told anyone what we saw that night. We told everyone that we just went to a bar and that's it. That's half true since we did go to a bar afterward. I learned the hard way that there are ghosts in this world. Since then, I'd never set foot in a haunted place again.